Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your March 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again, a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me offering you a reading. That person is not me. It is a scammer. All right? Do not be scammed. I will not be soliciting you for anything ever. Okay. With that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. Now let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Taurus be affected by the February 2021 full moon? How will Taurus be affected by the February 2021 full moon? How will Taurus be affected by the February 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Now let's see what your chakra energy is. How will Taurus, March 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. March 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. March 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. We start off here with creativity, the Sacral Chakra. And then we have flexibility, once again, the Sacral Chakra coming through. And finally, we have self-mastery, which is the solar plexus chakra. There we go. Okay. Now, left-hand side is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So we have the Knight of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Justice, which is Libra energy, time frame September 23rd to October 22nd. The Six of Cups and the Ace of Wands. We have the Knight of Cups. Not the Knight of Cups. We have the Knight of Cups here. Now we have the King of Cups. Again, water sign energy shining through. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. We have the Fool, the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Cups. I love that repeat of the number 9 here. It shows that you're very close to a completion of a cycle. And within your inner self, you're really looking at things from the past, and you're moving yourself forward in a way that you're not expecting. But there's going to be this shift here where you say, like, why? And there's this questioning that comes forward. Okay. Then we have the Moon. Okay, so this all links to Pisces energy right here. The Moon, of course, represents Pisces, and this is February 19th to March 20th. So also right in the time frame of this reading, and you're going to see yourself moving from this place of being a knight, being a defender, being a king, being an owner of what it is that you desire, to really sitting there and looking at these fears, looking at these doubts, and confronting so much. So this is a profound time for you. It really is. It moves you to the Tower. Yeah, it totally rocks your world. It does. The Ace of Cups, which you are absolutely taking. And then you have the Strength card, which your public arena is amazing. It is hard work. It's a lot coming at you, most definitely. But there is this strong sense of, this is what I want. This is where I'm headed. This is where I'm going. And this is who I am. Now, Leo energy is, of course, the Strength card is, of course, Leo energy, July 23rd to August 22nd. Ooh, sorry, I have a hair behind my glasses. Okay, there we go. And now let's look at the energy that you need to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Taurus needs to be mindful of? March 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. What is the energy that Taurus needs to be mindful of? March 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. These three. Awesome, all clumped together, so they're all going to be related to each other. So let's look. We have the Princess of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But this is the energy that we're focusing on here. We have the Lovers, Gemini energy. And we have the Hierophant, the High Priest here, which is Taurus energy. So actually, let me bring these forward and just let's talk about the energy we are to be mindful of during this time, Taurus. So it's starting off, and I'm really seeing here somebody who's rather immature with the way that they are handling things, with the way that they are moving forward. But there's also this great sense of, now, this, of course, here, Taurus, Spirit is saying it can represent you, like you get in your own way. And it is a sense here with the Princess of Wands. This is very passionate. This is very, decisive. This is like, I want this, and I'm going to make this happen. Come hell or high water is what this person really feels. And there's a sense here, and it doesn't matter what sign they are, there's just going to be this explosiveness to this person, this sense of not really having everything planned out as well as they thought they had it planned out, and just this fiery determination, and which you'll kind of admire their spunk. Like, I'm not going to lie. You're going to sit there and be like, that's an interesting way of going about it. But what you will not admire is the manipulation that they're putting into things, the double talking, the, having one set of rules for one person and another set of rules for the other. And they could be thinking that they're being super, super fair. And you're going to see it as very manipulative, very passive aggressive. And then we move to the Gemini energy. Now, this is the time frame right after Taurus. So this is May 21st to June 20th. And what you're going to see here, if you're born on the cusp, you're going to see these two parts of yourself kind of warring with each other. Or if you have, a part of your natal chart, or your sun or your rising in, not your sun, your moon or your rising in Gemini, that's really going to be coming out. And you're going to have that kind of whimsical nature of Gemini coming forward. And you're going to have the steadfast assurity of Taurus coming forward. And you might find that you're at odds with yourself at times. So this is something we need to be mindful of during this time, but it's also going to be somebody who is terribly self-centered, like terribly looking at what they want, what they need, pulling it always into their own realm of being, what they can create. And you're going to be sitting there saying, well, we have to look at the bigger picture. We have to look at what's going on here and here and here. They're just not going to want to. They're too wrapped up in their own pleasure and their own seeking for pleasure, for this, yeah, for a release. And it can be that they're being very manipulative, yeah, but they're being very manipulated by a partner, okay, by somebody who's come in, and they're filling their heads with ideas. And it's not saying that they're not to blame, but there's some outside force that comes forward and is like, well, you have to listen to all of this. And why don't you look at it this way? And isn't this unfair? And it's kind of, they're really riling them up. So this could be somebody that you're really close to, and then somebody comes in from kind of left field, and they start really riling this person up. And you're thinking, what the heck is going on here? Like, everything was fine. What is this? And this can make you kind of dig your heels in just a bit, Taurus. With this person, let them discover, like, let them fall on their face if they need to, most definitely. But this is also going to be a person who can be very stubborn, very much like, this is how it's going to be. This is what I desire. This is how it has to be. And you're going to find yourself butting heads with this person, most definitely. And you're going to be like, well, can't we have a little bit of give? Like, can't we look at the bigger picture? Can't we look at the quality of things and the, personal emotion behind everything and the gentleness that's required to move forward? And they're going to be like a bull in the china shop. And that's going to really upset you, because the bull in the china shop way of being is when Taurus is at its most frustrated. And that's what this person is going to be. So just to be mindful of this during this time is going to be very important. Now we have here the Sacral Chakra and the Solar Plexus Chakra. Now we have creative energy coming forward, which is beautiful. Now with the Sacral Chakra, it's bringing creativity, it's bringing flexibility, it's bringing the sense of, I wonder what it is that I desire. I'm looking forward to something new. And this energy is bubbling inside of you. It's like, change. Let me move forward in change. Let me move forward in a greater seeing, a greater understanding, a greater coming together. And with this creative energy and with this flexibility, there's a sense, because the sacral chakra is where so much negative energy is held, there's a sense of a purging, there's a sense of a freeing, there's a sense of things becoming more in line to what it is that you truly desire and where it is that you want to be. And so you're going to find yourself during this time confronting, and we can see this by your crown here, and even within your roots, the strength that comes from it, the power that comes from it, it's by confronting so much of what has held you back in the past. And what you're doing here is you're moving towards wisdom, and you're also letting your creative, sexual, sensual energy flow forward within you in a very powerful, very kind of empowering way. It's not only going to be a powerful way for you to move forward, but it's going to be a powerful realization, a stepping into yourself in a way that you haven't. And it leads you to self-mastery. It leads you to really looking at what it is that you want with your solar plexus chakra. It's like, listen to your gut. Listen to what it is that you desire. Listen to the way that you want to move forward. See yourself fall into alignment with you, because you're embracing your joy. Now, we talk about joy and we kind of poo-poo it, right? So it's, you're embracing your joy, you're embracing your happiness. Oh, that's nice, but let's get back to work. But what if we brought that joy and happiness into our lives? What if we moved forward with this essence and idea of self and saying, I get to smile, I get to have fun, I get to, to laugh and to be powerful within my life. And that starts to get your chakras in alignment. That starts to have you seeing things so much more openly, so much more honestly than you have before. And it starts to have you sit there and say, well, what is it that I desire, and where is it that I want to be that puts me in alignment with me? And it doesn't mean that we have to, quit our jobs, run away, join the circus, anything like that. What it means is that when we look at things, it's like, okay, well, how can I incorporate happiness into my life? My job is my job. It might be, your 9 to 5, it pays the bills, it gets things done. And that's commendable. It really is. I believe very firmly in responsibilities. But to let laughter, to let happiness, to let smiles be back on people's faces. That is so important. And you're becoming a warrior of your heart during this time. It's like, what do I love? What do I need? Where do I want to be? How do I move forward? You become a warrior of what is important to you. And this is like you're finding, you have the, what is it? The Leviathan, right? Right here. And you have the ship, you have the cup, and you have this sense of terror coming, right? If we face what our hearts want, if we look at what our souls desire, does that put us in a place of terror? A lot of times it does, because it's hard to face what we truly want. It's hard to live the way that we really want to live and to move forward the way that we really want to move forward. And there's a sense of doubt and of chaos and of fear around how it is that we embrace what it is that we want. And so here, it's weathering those storms. It's sitting there and saying that I am filling up that cup, not with seawater, not with something that if I drink it, it will make me sick, but something that is purified with my understanding, my compassion, my knowledge of my world and myself. And it brings you then to this place of justice. And I always found justice to be just a little bit complex when reading her, because it's like, okay, do you have the justice of the law? Is it white page, black print, letter of the law, things clearly spelt out? And a lot of times that's what we want. We want things to just be super, super easy. Just give me the directions, let me know how to do it, and then I'll see what happens. But if you're ever building anything, you know that even with the directions, sometimes things don't fit the way that they're supposed to, or you're looking at it and you're like, oh, I don't know about this. And here, there is a sense of being discerning with what you're listening to and what you want, being discerning with the way that you're moving yourself forward and the energy that you're letting into your life. And during this time, it's going to be so important to sit there and say, but this is right for me and this isn't. You're going to try and be just to everyone. Why? Because Taurus, that's part of your nature. It's like, we'll have it be fair, we'll have it be steady, it'll last forever. But you're always going to, no matter how carefully you speak, no matter how kind you try to be, you're always going to get somebody upset at you. It's just going to happen. There's always going to be someone who sits there and what does Kipling say? Twisted by knaves to make a trap by fools? Yeah, twisted by knives to make a trap for fools. You're sitting there and you're like, why is it that this becomes a trap? This becomes chaos. This becomes hurtful. This becomes, unjust. And it's because we have to be more discerning with the energy we let around us. This is a time where, yes, we want to heal everybody. Yes, we want to help everybody. Yes, we want everybody to rise. But this is also a time where we can't do that if we break our own wings doing so. If we carry so much that there is no more truth left in us, and we just become these hollow vessels, this hollow place. And so here, it's looking at the energy that's around you and saying, what do I need? When do I need to stop and take care of myself? Like, how do I need to take care of me? How do I need to move me forward? What is it that I need to do for me? It's not being egocentric, but it's saying, okay, if I need to stop, if I need to, take a nap, and if I can, I will. And it's not being a baby, it's being aware of myself. Because you're going to have a tendency during this time, Taurus, to want to push and just say, just keep on going, just keep on going, just keep on pushing, keep on pushing. And there's a nostalgia to it. There's a sense of, oh, but I'm working towards what I once had, what I once desired. Or I'm doing this because, my grandparents would have done it, or my parents would have done it. And you're going to sit there, or because I'm trying to prove this negativity that was spoken over me. And that's going to be more the key, is that I'm trying to prove this negativity that was spoken over me wrong. I'm going to try and outrun my shadow. And we so often take our hurts and pains, and they become the shadows that cloud our life and that follow us forever and ever. You can never outrun. You can never outrun the past. You can't. It's always going to be a part of you, but you can confront it. And you can sit there and say, listen, I'm not going to be ruled this way, because the past is a pain bubble. The past is hurt and disappointment and doubt and fear and despair, because it can never be gotten again. No matter how beautiful it was, we can never revisit the past. And so here, it's embracing the present. It's looking at, yes, how your history was shaped, how your soul was shaped, how you were shaped. but it's looking at your present and saying, how is it that I move forward? How is it that I claim my right? Because during this time, inwardly, you are a warrior of your heart, a warrior of what you desire, and you're being given the Ace of Wands. This is God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing you a gift of passion, of determination, of fire, of insight, of truth. And this is the torch to light your way. This is the way forward that is so deeply needed. And you're going to sit there and say, what am I passionate about? What is it that I desire? How is it that I want to move forward? What is it that I'm moving towards? And all of a sudden, things become rather clear. And it's not going to be everything all at once, but it's going to be little things. It's like, oh, I forgot that I like this so much. Like, oh, I should do this more often. It brings me so much happiness, so much joy, so much beauty. And that's what you're really going to be embracing here. The happiness, the joy, the beauty, the laughter, the love, the power. And it brings you to being a king. And I love that you are crowned by the King of Cups over your heart. So you're really owning your heart during this time. It's like, this is what I love. This is what I need. This is who I am. The King of Cups is like my favorite king because he knows that he can only rule himself. He can't rule anybody else. And so here he's in the waters, yes, but he is embracing his truth. He's saying, these are my emotions. This is what I want. This is what I desire. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, he is a king on this like little square in the middle of the water. You would assume that he rules more because he's a king. But what if we're all kings and queens and rulers of ourselves? What if there is power here? And we can't get anyone to do what we want them to do. I mean, my goodness. Once again, a nephew story. I was feeding my nephew today, and he has decided that all food is disgusting to him except for cookies and cakes and what he wants to eat. And so he just makes this gagging sound and looks like he's going to throw everything up or spits it out of his mouth. And it's like, no, you can't do that. But I can't rule him. I can't get him to stop doing it. I can let there be consequences. But if we can't get people who aren't even two to do what we want them to do, how is it that we get anybody else to do what we want them to do? Yes, they're not as blatant in their I'm not listening to you or, oh my gosh, this is horrible, the worst thing I ever had in my life type of way. But they don't listen, and they're not going to listen. So we rule our lives for ourselves. We sit there and say, this is what I need. This is my code of ethics. These are my morals. This is what's super important to me. This is what I love. This is what I want. This is what I value. These are the responsibilities I carry. And I do it for me. I don't do it for everybody else. I do it so that when I look myself in the eye, I'm proud of what I see. And that's what the King of Cups is all about. And so as you have this power come forward, as you have this sense of, I am proud of me, stepping into your life and crowning your heart and showing you what you desire, it leads you to a hero's journey. It leads you to sitting there and saying, well, why can't I move forward this way? And why can't I do this? And why can't I ask these questions? And why can't I be this person? And why can't I? And so the fool is the person that everybody looks at and laughs and says, oh my gosh, that's so foolish. I can't believe you're going to do this. I can't believe you think that's a good idea. I can't believe. And they either are very polite about it and you see the snicker in their eyes, or they say it right to your face, this isn't going to work. How are you going to make a living? How are you going to make a business? How are you going to support yourself? This isn't okay. And you walk forward. And it doesn't mean that you gamble everything all at once. You slowly and steadily build as you walk forward into your passion, into what you desire, into what you want in your life. And so, yes, you start off being foolish, but you also start off being the one who can say what truly is. Because remember, fools in medieval times, they got to speak the truth. When everybody else had to sit there and tell the emperor that his clothes looked great when he was walking around stark naked, they got to laugh and say, with the innocence of the child in that story, what the heck are you doing? So here, it's looking at things and with the innocence of your soul and the power of your passion, say, this is what I want. This is how I'm moving forward. This is where I'm going. And so the Fool begins our hero's journey. And you might say, Dane, how many times can you begin a hero's journey? As many times as it takes. We are all becoming the heroes of our stories. And so often we stumble, we fall, we fail, we look at things, we drop the ball, we, harshly judge ourselves. And we don't realize that it's kind of like Hercules, right? Hercules failed miserably. Hercules went off to do these great deeds because he committed like egregious sins. He killed his family and, his wife, his children in a rage because of the gods, I believe. And, he had to go and repent. So we look at somebody and remember the great deeds, but we don't remember why they did it. We don't remember the hurt and the sorrow and the grief and the despair. So here, it's looking at what you need to move forward. And it's not looking at all the times that you failed, all the hurts, all the pains, all the disappointments, because that's very discouraging. It's sitting there and saying, this is what I want to move forward with. This is where I need to be. And it moves you, okay? And it has you, with the might of a king, moving and embracing the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is standing firm, or even just standing hunched over, but sticking to your truth when all the world shouts at you, when everybody attacks you, when everything seems like, oh, I can't possibly make it. I can't possibly think the way that I want to think. I can't possibly, do what I want to do. And it's like, yes, you can. Yes, you can, because everybody gets to rule but one person in their life, and it's themselves. And the only people who try to rule everybody else are the people who are failing ruling themselves. Because you will see the truly enlightened people, the truly, at peace people, do not try to rule anybody else. So with the Nine of Wands, the road has been long. The journey has been hard. But you stand in your truth. You stand in your power. You stand in your understanding. And yes, it's been hard. And it's been overwhelming. But there is power to you. And it moves you to the Nine of Cups. It moves you to wishes being granted, which aren't going to be easily seen by you. It moves you to a place of peace and prosperity and power coming in, to an understanding you questioned, would this be, or how would this be, and where would this get me? And so here, with the Nine of Cups, there's beauty around you. People see this. It radiates from your heart. You can almost feel like your heart chakra is glowing. And so here, with the Nine of Cups, it's that radiance of love and truth. It's that wish coming forward. It's that power being a part of you. It's that opening up of ideas and ideals to where it is that your soul truly needs to be. And in the public arena, which is so beautiful, but also so intense, it has you facing fears. The moon, with this Pisces energy, right, very much connects with the water up here, even if it's just simply the fact that the moon, calls the tides. Here, you're going to be finding that there are fears being faced. There are monsters in the dark that you think, oh my gosh, they're right around me. But what if those monsters are protecting you? It's so interesting. We have our fight or flight mechanism within us. And we were hunter-gatherers, right? Long before we were civilized people. Here, there is a sense of looking at our fears, looking at the nightmares that have held us back, looking at the doubts and the chaos that we have. And it's saying, how do I face these fears? Or do I get to be ruled by them for my whole entire life? Do I get to be in slumber while they move me around, while they rule me? Or do I get to be guarded by them? So here's the thing with fear. It's part of our primordial self that sits there and says, oh my gosh, you better watch out. There's a bear. There's, a wolverine coming at you. You don't want to go that way. The ice will crack, or, that way could lead to tigers. And so you become hyper vigilant. But in our world, where a lot of things that we should be afraid of, we're not, or a lot of the natural world has been taken away from us, we sit there and we have the fears that we have within our mind. And they're social fears, they're, their performance fears. It's like, will I be able to perform at my job? Will I be able to perform in my life the way that I want to? Social fears, will I fit in? Remember that time that person, said those snide words, or, did these really negative things? Is that going to be coming forward? And what about my dreams? Do I have my fears around my dreams? Do I keep them shut away? Because the world is too harsh. And I don't want to be laughed at, to be ridiculed, to be mocked. Why? Because we're very social creatures. we were designed to live in groups of like 50, right? And be able to traverse those groups. And if you were kicked out of the clan or the tribe or whatever, it was very, very bad. Life became very hard. So we're hardwired to see life that way. But here, it's looking at the fears, and it's sitting there and saying, I see you. I see you, monster, for what you are. I see you for wanting to hold me back, for wanting to deny me. But I won't let you. I am moving into my power. And as I see you, you can become what protects me. What is my little warning alarm? Oh, my fear is going off. Why is that fear there? Oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. Why? Oh my gosh, that's so hard. Okay, why am I discouraging myself before even trying? And that becomes something astoundingly powerful for you because you've had enough, okay? With the tower, there has been enough, krakens coming out of the water to just devour everything that was yours. The tower is everything falling down around you. It's the doubts, the fears, the negativity, anger, the upset, the upheaval. And it's like, I'm done. I'm done letting this fear shake my foundation forever. The tower is divinity pushing you out of your comfort zone. The tower is having your life changed because we always, as human beings, stay where it is the most comfortable until it becomes unbearable. And then we're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll change. And even then it's a maybe because better the monster that I know, better the hardship, the pain, the disappointment that I know than having to go after something new. This is divinity kicking us out of the nest and saying it's time. It's time to change. And you might be on a journey. And I mean, my goodness, sometimes the tower lasts 16 times 16 years. You're sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, it's forever. It's forever. But it's not. There's a sense of sitting there and realizing that all the pain that you went through, all the hardship, all the disappointment, all the loss, it was for a reason. Even if you're looking at it and saying, what was the reason for me? It might not be a reason for you specifically. It might be that it was to show your children, to show those around you, like what you can do, like how spunky you can be, like how forceful, how determined, how, single-minded you can be towards achieving your goals, towards going after it. And there's heartbreak there. I mean, there is heartbreak when the tower comes, when, you lose everything, when you are homeless, when, life just gets so hard. I'm going to cry. And it doesn't seem like it makes sense. But sometimes through the darkest hours of our lives, there is beauty. There is reasoning. There is a forging of the soul. There is a fire of the self. And it's like, I will, and I am surviving. And I will be thriving. And that's what the tower is about. Because divinity knows we'd never do it ourselves. We just never would. We'd never face the pain, right? And we'd never see what could happen at the other end. So the tower here in the public arena, it doesn't have to be just now. I mean, you're having justice in a new way forward because of everything that's been thrown your way. You are being discerning. You are, looking at things so differently because you've walked like through the gates of hell, right? And you've walked through. And you've kept going, which is commendable. And then it brings you to the Ace of Cups, a gift that you are more than taking during this time. It's healing. It's the waters washing away the hurt, the pain, the doubt, the fear, the anger, the upset, the sorrow of soul. And as you do this, you're looking at things and you're like, why? Why did I have to have this journey? Why did it have to be so hard? And it's because it made you into something extraordinary. And you might not think it's a big deal, but it is, Taurus. To firmly, carefully, and powerfully build this future, to move forward in this way, to have the hurts and the pains come to the surface so you may be very sensitive during this time, but also be washed away. Not that you'll never remember them, not that you won't know that you lived through it, but that it's done. And there's something very powerful about it being done. And so you embrace your heart and your healing. And so you look at things more openly and more honestly. And you find your strength. It's not that brute force strength. It's the strength when you hold on, when everything inside of you wants to let go. When you stood and faced the storm, when it would have been so much easier to crumble and run away, you held on. And that's extraordinary. You stood in your power, and that's superhuman. And so you embrace the strength that is you. And you might say, no, I crumbled, I fell, I doubted, but you got back up. And you're on this path. You found this channel. You're part of this family. You know, here it is about trying to achieve the extraordinary, to have a happy, prosperous, contented life, which is extraordinary and worth more than gold. And so here, there is power. Let's go deeper. Taurus. March 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. March 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. March 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. So we have the Ace of Coins, a gift just for you. Yeah, there we go. The moon coming through again, the facing of fears and the empowerment from it. The Nine of Cups, the wishes coming forward. The Temperance, the balance. Also Sagittarius energy, November 22nd to December 21st. The Knight of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Emperor. So you have Sagittarius and Aries shining through quite brilliantly within your heart itself. And Aries time frame is March 21st to April 19th. Then we have the Queen of Coins, that is you, shining through as a queen, definitely taking this gift. You have the Seven of Wands, knowing what to fight for and when. And the Three of Wands, great things on the horizon. So the Ace of Coins comes, prosperity, success, being able to plant these gifts. And it's over justice and the Knight of Cups. So it's over being a defender of your heart and your soul and being discerning about the energy that you let into your life. And you hold on to this gift, right? And it's here. It becomes so much more than what you anticipated. And it's through balance. It's through understanding that this is really empowered. So there is a sense of you holding on to this gift, holding on to an idea, holding on to something that has become very sacred to you, has become astoundingly important. And it moves you to the moon. And I love this because I just saw it, that there is that mouse in the moon and the owl looking up and thinking, oh my goodness, you know. So here, there's something powerful that gets your attention within the moon, within the reflective cycle of the self. And it's going to be rather delicious to you. And I know that sounds kind of odd, but there's something here that moves you forward as the Six of Cups comes forward, as you heal from the past. And it's like, oh my, it's like, wow. And it's almost going to be like, wow, I did that. Like I moved forward that way. And it's when we start to look at things and when we start to realize things, it's like, oh my goodness, like I did more than I realized. I am empowered more than I could have imagined. And it leads you to the Nine of Cups. It leads you to the blessings coming forward. And it leads you to looking at what it is that you greatly desire and the power that you need and the place that you want to be. And it has you kind of seeing your worth, right? Seeing your prosperity, but not seeing it as well as everybody else does. This is a sense of looking at what it is that you desire, where it is that you want to be, and then understanding you just a bit more. And it brings you to temperance. It brings you to balance, to understanding, to this place of pouring from day to night, this wisdom of self and understanding as you are the ruler of you, as you begin a journey. It's like, I need this balance. I need this presence of mind, this power of purpose. And it brings you then to the Knight of Wands, to being the defender, where you have here the Nine of Wands, where you have the chaos that has come forward, where you've had to stay in your truth and stand in your truth. And now you become a warrior of your passion, what is right for you. And yes, it will change over time, as everything does. But this is where you stand now. This is the power that you hold on to. This is the insight that guides you. This is the greater illumination of self that moves you forward. And it brings you to the Emperor. Now, the Emperor with the Nine of Cups here, and I love how the Emperor is linked to both Nine of Cups, where there's a sense of power, the sense of coming together, the sense of wishes coming true, and beauty being seen by others, but not necessarily by you. You have a little bit more of an inkling of it as we go deeper. But with the Emperor, there is this sense of wisdom and power and purpose and a fight. Because remember, Emperor is representative of Aries in the zodiac, and Aries is the god of war. And so here you stand in your truth and you're like, this is my power. This is what I want. I am the general. I am the leader of this battle that is my life. And you could sit there and say, well, it's not nice to think of life as a battle. But come on, what else kicks you in the face quite the same way as living? So here, with the Emperor, there's strength and there's power and there's purpose and there's determination that is moving you forward. And it brings you to saying, nobody else gets to rule my life. And that's at the root of your heart. Nobody else gets to rule my life. I get to rule it. I get to embrace my power, myself, my soul. And I might not be the best ruler, but nobody else gets to rule over me. And it brings you to the Queen of Coins. It brings you to prosperity and success and bounty as you face your fears, as you turn monsters into allies, and as you see why everything tumbled down. You see the path forward. And you might not be why all at once, but slowly and steadily, as you step into your enlightenment, as you move forward in your power, it's like, oh, this was it, wasn't it? This is where I needed to stand. This is what I desired. This is the prosperity, the success, the bounty that gets to be me. And you get to pass this on. Here, she's feeding the soup to all her little birds, right? And for us, it is feeding the prosperity, feeding the bounty to all those who come after, all those who we embrace within our lives. And so there's power there, and there's brilliance there, and it leads you to the Seven of Wands, to knowing when to pick your battles, what to fight for, and what to say, no, I'm not doing this. And it has you embracing a healing, an understanding, and a compassion that is really quite beautiful. Because the Seven of Wands, it's like, yeah, I could fight everybody, and I could, always be going around in a battle. But then what does it mean? If you fight everyone, then you're just a hothead, right? But if you fight and stand up for a select few things, and you say, this is my power, this is my truth, this is what I desire, this is what's important to me, then it has so much more purpose. And it also has so much more energy behind it. Just think, if you are constantly fighting all the time, right? And it becomes exhausting. And you're always in battle. People sit there and go like, well, first of all, it's your fault. And secondly, there's a sense of your energy just being wasted and wasted and wasted. But if you train, if you build up your endurance, right, which is what living does, it builds us up our endurance to idiots or to people who aggravate us. And then when we have this sense of putting down our foot and saying, but this is my truth, like this is where I stand. The power behind the punch, the power behind the force of you is is so much more. And it brings you to seeing the world open up in a way that you hadn't imagined. New horizons, new ways forward. And you're seeing it from different angles, from the larger point of view and also from the smaller, more detailed point of view. And it's like, I can do this, can't I? I can move forward this way. This gets to be me. So let's look at your spirit animal message. Taurus. March 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. March 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. March 1st to the 15th, 2021, Taurus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. Fantastic. So we have here the koi fish spirit. There is always enough. And that is something that's really important to remember. As there are times of despairs and hardships and pains and disappointment, there is always enough. And there is more generosity in the world than what we realize. But yet, it seems like so much of the world, like only a few people have the real power. But you're going to see that there is always going to be enough. That there is true prosperity coming forward. It moves you to the brown bear spirit. Take time out. Take time out to look at what you've planted over your heart. Take time out to connect with what it is that you desire and where it is that you need to be. It leads you then to the rhino spirit, which says overcome any obstacles. You're going to see yourself overcoming any obstacle to be able to move forward. You've already seen that. You've already come so far. It's like you faced the storm and come out a queen. You faced the hardships, the pains, the disappointments, and come out. Not always necessarily feeling like on top, but being able to be on top, to being able to rule your world in a very different, much more powerful way. There is always enough, and you will always overcome if you step back and you take time to address your heart, not to sit there and get caught up in the chaos of everybody else. I just had a flash to a job that I had, and I remember we desperately needed the money, my family and myself. Things were so hard, right? And I said to my mom, I was like, I'm going for a promotion. I hated the job, absolutely could not stand working there. And I was like, I'm going to go for this promotion. And I remember the huge fight that we got into, because she's like, it's killing you. It's absolutely taking away every beautiful thing about you. And it's making you into a person that she's like, that I don't like. And I was like, well, that's tough luck. We need to eat, right? And I was so stuck on life having to be one way, of that being all that I could get and all that I was going to have. And yet she was right to say, step back and walk through different doors. Don't get caught up in things because they're right in front of your face. Don't get caught up in things because the world has lied to you and said that's the way it has to be. Because it will rob everything beautiful from you if it gets the chance. So stand in your truth, stand in your power. Look at the seeds that you have planted over your heart and what is so important to you. Now your subconscious spirit animal message is the bee spirit. Sweet results await. I love that. The sweetness, the beauty. It's like having a bit of honey on your lips. Being able to, like, that nice surprise of when you lick your lips. It's like, oh, it's so sweet. That's what it is. Sweet results await. And they take you by surprise. Your subconscious person message is the King of Cups. Rule your life and rule it well. Okay? Stand in your truth and don't let anybody else take that from you. You have the King of Cups now coming up twice, and that is brilliant. Your subconscious chakra message is rebirth, the Earth Star Chakra. To be reborn, to be empowered, to sit there and say, yes, it's been a long, hard road. Yes, I've inched across, like when you're the caterpillar before you become the butterfly. But now I am reborn, and I get to fly. I get to embrace new heights. And I don't think a butterfly sits there and laments about the whole time it spent as a caterpillar. I think it just flies and gets to be free. So in our lives, when we get to that point where we embrace our souls and embrace what we desire and get to be free within our own beings, I don't think we need to look back and be caught in the past and sit there and say, but look how hard the road was. But look how beautiful the rewards. Your subconscious tarot message is the sun. Happiness comes. Happiness comes because it is so well deserved. Will people try to take you by eyes? Absolutely. They will sit there and they will say, you can't do this. You can't have this joy. Yes, you can. Embrace it with every being of your heart and your soul. Let yourself fly to these heights with this sunbird, calling in your joy, calling in your dawn and your day. To go deeper into your subconscious, we have the Seven of Swords. Things aren't always going to be as they seem. You gather up what you need. You prepare yourself. You leave things behind. And you embrace your truth. People are sly and conniving and hurtful. They just are. Be prepared. Okay? Know your worth. Know what you desire. And keep on moving forward. All right, Taurus. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as you embrace the joy and the prosperity, and as you see the hurtful manipulators for who they truly are. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus.